The Chicago Cubs had an opportunity to win the series against the Nationals tonight and just failed to be able to do so. Bats failed them early and late. They also went up against one damn elite pitcher, and they're getting ready to see another one in the next series. We're going to cover it all and look and preview why the Chicago Cubs do need to add on more to this roster. And it ain't just pitching. Right after this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Chicago Cubs Central Podcast right here. This is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I am your host, Mike Jones, here with you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. The Chicago Cubs earlier today lost a game to the Washington Nationals 0-2. Chicago Cubs been shut out in this game. One of the few times Chicago Cubs have gotten shut out this season, not scored a single run, not been able to push a single run across. However, Mackenzie Gore is the real deal for the Washington Nationals, and he showed why tonight. He outpitched Matthew Boyd, who came with some of his best stuff. Listen, Matthew Boyd tonight looked elite. He looked elite. One mistake, one fly ball that carried. It wasn't even out over the plate. It was a ball over to the side of the plate. It just caught him and it just carried. And that one mistake literally really was the deciding factor in this game. The Nationals will go on to add on one more run off of a double in the eighth. But outside of that, 2-0 is your score. Chicago Cubs just could not get past this elite pitching, which, guys, we have to understand something here. The Chicago Cubs do have elite pitching, but they need to add on more elite pitching. But I'll get to that in a little bit. First and foremost, thank you all for watching. If this is your first time, please subscribe, like, and share to the channel. Listen, we are steadily trying to grow this channel. We are steadily trying to bring more eyes, more viewership to Chicago Cubs Central because we are steadily trying to grow back. This, once again, is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. And guys, I appreciate each and every last one of you that take time out of your busy day to tune in and to watch. Share this with somebody else. And also, get in tune, get into the conversation, comment below once you guys watch these videos. I'm trying to get the chats more active, and definitely want to get another live call. I got been a crazy week, hell week, y'all, for your boy. I got a baby shower this coming weekend for my coming son. But like I said, I'm gonna try my hardest next week to get another live episode up for you guys. I'm sorry, not another live episode. Get another live call, watch along with you guys next week. Like I said, Chicago Cubs play some great games next week, so we'll see what happens with that. However, let's get back into the game. So let's look at this, y'all. Chicago Cubs come up in the first inning and get Mackenzie Gore early. I'm talking about 3 consecutive singles, bases loaded. And you figure who else is coming up outside of, so Ian Happ singles, Seiya Suzuki singles, Carson Kelly singles. Pete Armstrong is coming up after that. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh yeah, Pete finna have himself another moment here. He's finna solidify once again why he's the best center fielder in the National League right here on the defensive end and on the offensive end. No, Pete Armstrong strikes out. Dansby Swanson strikes out. Nico Hoerner pops out he pops out, and then that ends the inning. And the Chicago Cubs never after that had another legitimate scoring opportunity. It's moments like that where you miss Kyle Tucker. Because theoretically, had the Chicago Cubs had Kyle Tucker in that moment, you back up Seiya Suzuki and you back up Carson Kelly, and the Cubs are potentially up in this game 3-0 at least, but maybe more. Could have been a grand slam. But unfortunately, instead, the Chicago Cubs do nothing for the rest of the game. Dansby Swanson went 1 for 4. Michael Busch went 1 for 4. Like I said, Justin Turner went 0 for 3. Kyle Tucker did pinch hit in this game. for the DH spot, which was Justin Turner, and he went 0-for-1 himself. So yeah, like I said, he grounded out to second to end the game. So again, it's unfortunate. But the Chicago Cubs saw some elite pitching, and this is the cost of being a good team. You are going to get the very best every single night. Do you understand why the Los Angeles Dodgers don't have necessarily the best record in the league this year, even though they basically have an all-star team? It's because every team plays them as if that's their World Series that week. They go up against the very best. Teams come out aiming to give their very best. The fact that the Dodgers are as high up as they are is sheer straight from the fact that these guys are legit. The New York Yankees get everybody's best every night. Teams don't take nights off against them. And the Chicago Cubs are about to go through the same exact thing. The Detroit Tigers are right now playing in a series against the White Sox. Do you understand that the Detroit Tigers play the Chicago Cubs? The Chicago Cubs visit the Detroit Tigers this weekend. Detroit Tigers specifically moved Scooball's outing. He was supposed to face the White Sox on Thursday. Instead, he's going to face the Cubs this coming weekend. Teams are going to give you their very best every single night, and Chicago has to capitalize on mistakes. You must capitalize on mistakes if you want to really win in this league. You cannot have the bases loaded and leave empty-handed, because you don't know when you're going to get another opportunity like that. You give a pitcher like Mackenzie Gore an opportunity to settle in, it's going to be a long night. Just like teams try to pounce on Shota Imanaga. Just like teams try to pounce on Justin Steele. The Chicago Cubs have to capitalize when they have a pitcher on the ropes. And I have not seen enough of that this season from them. You must capitalize. This is the next level, next step for Pete Crow Armstrong in his stardom. He walks up to the plate with bases loaded. He better at least leave with two. If nothing else, take a walk. But don't just come up there swinging for the fences. And this is the second time this season that I can remember that Pete Crow Armstrong has come up and has left empty-handed with the bases loaded. There was also an opportunity at time where he did leave with a grand slam. So, I mean, like I said, it ain't all bad. But what I want from him is the maturation that's going to come for Pete Crow Armstrong. This moment for him in the first inning, a potential game-changing moment, as Pat Hughes calls it. Right then and there, first inning. If the Cubs score 3 runs right there, they win this game easily. And they immediately put pressure on Mackenzie Gore to make pitches, which will give them more opportunities to hit and more opportunities to score. This was an opportunity for our offense to show it was elite. You get this same opportunity against the Detroit Tigers ace this coming weekend. And I'm going to talk more about that when we preview that Tiger series. But I want the Chicago Cubs and I want the fan base to understand the gravity of the situation. Yes, like I said, we're 4 games ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals in the Central Division, and which is fine. Great. Not mad about that at all. But you have the opportunity for the Chicago Cubs to win more and to take advantage of more. I'm so proud of how the Chicago Cubs went after Paul Skeens when they faced him. I'm so proud of most times when we see aces, the moment isn't too big for the Chicago Cubs and the team comes out to play. And so unfortunately, we couldn't get that against Mackenzie Gore. Which brings me to my next point. Matt Shaw is a very good baseball player. Defensively, he is a great third baseman. If we could get a third baseman via trade that can hit the ball and drive in more runs that could split time with Matt Shaw, I would not be mad about that. Matt Shaw is the third baseman of the future for the Chicago Cubs. It's his spot. However, if the Chicago Cubs are serious about winning a title this year, Matt Shaw has not come into his own yet. He's figuring it out, but he has not come into his own yet. I would not be upset if the Chicago Cubs made a trade for another third baseman with some pop in his bat until Matt Shaw could find his way. Some people are going to hate me for this. Some people are going to say that this is overreacting. It's just one game. Matt Shaw has been great since he's been back up, and I agree with all of those things. This is me overreacting. Matt Shaw has been a very good third baseman. Defensively, he's been like a black hole over there. He is probably a future Golden Glover at that third base range. I could see that in his future. Not this season, but in his future. Maybe when Arenado retires or gets traded to the American League or something. But he definitely is a very good third baseman. Defensively, man, he does stuff like, I'm like, wow. Some of those throws he makes, some of the balls he just knocks down and stops from going out to the outfield and saving runs. You can't teach that type of stuff. He's great out there. But we also need him to hit, and he still has not figured out how to hit. He's taking more walks. He's swinging at less bad stuff, but he still ain't figured out how to drive the ball and how to hit home runs. I've expected him to hit more than one home run this season, and Matt Shaw has not found that yet. It would be great if the Chicago Cubs could find a third baseman that would be willing to split time, even if it's a rental for just this season. Split time until Matt can find his way, just to give us more of that oomph. The more hitters you have to face like that, the tougher the lineup. Yeah, I don't want to give these pitchers any easy outs. I don't want to give these pitchers any guaranteed outs. I want to make it tough on them every go. I want them to look up and down our batting order and think, damn, I got to pitch to all of them and figure a way to get all of these guys out without giving up any runs. So my question of the day is, if you had an opportunity to get a third baseman, would you? And I'm not saying he's taking all of Matt Shaw's time. I'm just saying splitting time. Giving Craig Counsell as many weapons as possible to manage and to use in as many different situations as possible. Matt Shaw is still young. He's going to be around for a while. He'll figure out his hitting. I'm not worried about it. Or it could be that this is who he is. Maybe he's not hitting for slug. Maybe he's miscast right now. Maybe he is like a Nico Horner. And if so, then you definitely need to go add another home run hitter. But for me, for this season, this is as good as the Chicago Cubs have been since 2017, 2018, in my book. Such a fun squad. I'm not going to put that 2016 World Series team up against them yet. I've seen everybody doing the reports and putting the stats and the numbers together, and yeah, they kind of match up. I'm not putting that on them yet. We'll talk about each team if the Chicago Cubs do end up going to the World Series and winning it. But that 2016 team was stacked. To have a prime Jake Arrieta and a prime John Lester at the same time, have an aging John Lackey and a young Kyle Hendricks as a 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody wanted to see that team. Nobody wanted to see that team. So, yeah, man, we'll just have to see what happens. But the Chicago Cubs do need to add on more. I do. I've obviously, and there's the reports going around. And I'll probably talk about this on tomorrow's episode. But Bruce Levine commented that the Chicago Cubs are not waiting for the trade deadline to trade for another starting pitcher. They're actually looking and trying to make deals as we speak for another starting pitcher. I'm looking more at the hidden side and saying, like, games like this, Man, could you imagine if we would have had somebody like Alex Bregman? Granted, Alex Bregman is injured right now, but man, maybe he wouldn't have been injured if he'd been on our team. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But yeah, that's my episode for today, man. I appreciate each and every last one of you that have tuned in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to comment below. Let me know your thoughts. If you could trade for another third baseman, would you? Also, our pick to perform player of the game, Matthew Boyd. Listen, even in the loss, which he did take this loss, he is now 5-3 on the season. Matthew Boyd did his thing throughout this game. To be able to hold this national team scoreless until the 7th and literally go so deep into the game, I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. Tomorrow, the Chicago Cubs will face the Washington Nationals with another opportunity to win the game and win the series. They will start Drew Pomerantz tomorrow, going up against Jake Irvin, who is 5-1 on the season with a 3.93 ERA. Lord help us. He has pitched 73 innings so far, and he has a 1.17 whip. So listen, let me tell you something. Chicago Cubs are in for a fight tomorrow. It's not going to be an easy game. Chicago Cubs are going to have to come out and bring their offense out. I do expect Kyle Tucker to be back in the lineup tomorrow. So once again, this Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Cubs. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, like, share, comment below, and let me know your thoughts. Let's get into some conversation, y'all. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Until next time, go.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.